Tempered mother who killed her baby has been jailed for 15 years. Claudia Hartman, 25, was today convicted of killing Tilly Hartman, aged 8 months, and concealing the body. In her statement, Mrs. Hartman said that her baby was stolen by an unknown woman who she took to be an agency babysitter. However, her testimony fell apart when police investigating the crime found traces of Tilly's blood in the Hartmans' sitting room. Colleagues of Mrs. Hartman, a primary school teacher, painted a picture of a woman who was fantastic with the children she taught, but found it hard to form relationships with the staff and avoided social events. A friend described her as overly possessive of husband Joe, 34, head of Overhill School in Surrey. Another described her as jealous of her husband's slavish devotion to their child. After the discovery of the blood, Mrs. Hartman changed her story, confessing that Tilly had fallen off the sofa and cut her head on the corner of the coffee table. When asked why she hadn't sought medical attention for her daughter instead of going shopping, Mrs. Hartman said the injury wasn't serious and that Tilly had cried immediately and afterwards had been her normal giggly self. She later confessed that she had in fact been on her way to A&E but had become anxious, worrying that her baby would be taken from her, given that she had suffered from postnatal depression and psychosis and had secretly stopped taking her medication. Mrs. Hartman insisted she had told the truth in the rest of her statement. The prosecutor alleged that Tilly had in fact died in the accident and accused Mrs. Hartman of concealing the body and fabricating the story of the abduction to cover her negligence. He described her account of her psychosis as an exaggeration. Mrs. Hartman's GP said that although aware of her condition, he had considered it under control and had no reason to believe she had ceased to take the pills. Mr. Hartman had also thought his wife was taking her medication as prescribed. Part 1. Chapter 1. 10 years later. Monday, the 23rd of October, 2023. Claudia. The buzzer sounds, the door opens, and Claudia Hartman steps blinking into the outside world, the strobing effect of several cameras flashing at once a sudden and brutish welcome. Clutching a clear plastic bag containing her mobile phone, her keys, and the black leather shoulder bag she came in with, she covers her face with the crook of her arm. It's 6:30 a.m. and still dark. A chill wind whips across the prison car park. She stands with her back to the door and tries to adjust quickly to a change as seismic as birth. For a split second, she's so frightened of what awaits her that she wishes the guard would drag her back in, tell her it's all been a terrible mistake, she should never have been freed. The minicab driver doesn't get out to open the passenger door. Instead, he waits, windscreen wipers shunting from side to side, headlights picking up the rain. Between Claudia and the car, there are at least a dozen journalists, burly in their winter coats, steam puffing from their mouths. They barrel towards her, microphones held aloft, blocking the wind. "Claudia, do you have anything to say to your ex-husband? Why did you change your plea? How are you going to survive on the outside when no one wants you?" That last question comes from someone at the back, and the tone is different. It's more personal. It's also a question she has asked herself, a question that cuts right to the heart of her. She has a feeling of being hollowed out as she squints to see who asked it, but the flashbulbs blind her. It was a woman, though. She sees a figure holding a large black umbrella that obscures most of her face. Her chin is swathed in a scarf and she's standing apart. She doesn't look as though she belongs with the rest. Claudia sways, grey with exhaustion. Her last night in the cell was peppered with yells and taunts. No one was happy that she was getting out. The women felt cheated, even though they'd spent years tormenting her. The guards offered little protection, believing middle-class Claudia Hartman considered herself better than them. They would miss the fun of taking her down a peg or two. If only she'd said what her lawyer had advised her to say sooner, it might have taken the heat out of the situation. They might eventually have got used to her and been kinder. But it took a long time to admit defeat and say the words. "I am guilty." It still sticks in her craw. She gasps, feeling the cold air in her throat, and marches forward, pushing against arms and coats, gagging on breath stinking of coffee and cigarettes, bacon butties and fried eggs.